Welcome back, Story by Director X, Episode 4, The Twins. This is a completely original story that I wrote. The backstory. I did a commercial for eBay a gazillion years ago, and I put the Gonzalez twins in the commercial. And meeting them, becoming friends. I mean, they're 5'10", beautiful. They came from basketball, really strong. And I began to think, what would be a movie I could make for them? And I thought, what if we were twins separated at birth, like children of Captain America, essentially? And one grew up rich and one grew up poor, and then they finally meet each other again and go looking for their family. And started churning around in my mind, and I came up with this story. So, this is one of my favorites. I hope you enjoy. Story by Director X, Episode 4, The Twins. The Twins by Julien Lutz, PKA Director X. Around 20 or so years ago, the Nevada sun sets on a modest home in the country. Inside, twin toddlers playing together in the living room. There were necklaces with their names, Raina and Jetta. Their mother, Malia, watches TV. The phone rings in the other room. Malia goes to answer. The twins begin to play fight. Their fighting skills are beyond their age. Jetta punches, Raina blocks, Raina kicks, Jetta tackles. They wrestle on the carpet. They laugh and hug. In a rush, Malia runs in and scoops up the children. She pulls 3 pre-packed bags out of the closet and runs outside. She goes to the garage, pulls an old tarp off an old car, and begins to load up the girls in bags. A military jeep pulls up quick. A big man in uniform gets out. Their father, Axton. He hears something coming from the car. He finds the back tire slowly leaking. He moves very fast, getting a spare tire at the trunk. He unscrews the lugs with his hands. With both hands, he lifts the car up on 3 wheels. Malia changes the tire, quick and efficient. Axton says a heartfelt goodbye to Raina and Jetta. He will never see them again. Axton and Malia cry in each other's arms. The end of their family. They embrace for the last time. Malia cries. Axton kisses her. The twins reach out for their father, crying as Malia gets in the car and drives away. Axton watches them go, keeping his eye on the empty road until the sound of the car is gone. Current day, a massive mansion in Houston, Texas. Inside, young adult Raina is in her room, zipping up her luggage. She's on her way to college. She looks every bit the rich, privileged girl she is. On her walls and shelves, awards and trophies in academics, sports, and taekwondo. She takes her bags downstairs. Her adoptive parents wait. They're bandaged up, heads wrapped. Dad wears a neck brace. Mom has a broken arm. Raina and her parents share teary goodbyes, but there's more going on than just parents crying over their kid going to school. Her parents are asking for forgiveness. They just didn't know the right time to tell her. Raina reassures them everything will be okay. She apologizes to them for letting them down. They tell her that they will overcome this as a family. They say a long, heartfelt prayer together. This is a family of faith. A car horn sounds from outside. It's time to go. They hug lovingly. Dad takes Raina's bag to put in the trunk, but he can barely move it. It's heavy. Raina lifts it with no effort. Her parents watch her car drive away. Newark, New Jersey courthouse. Jetta sits as the defendant. Life has clearly been hard knocks. She's tough as nails. The prosecutor makes his final statement. Jetta is a danger to society, pointing to the 5 battered and bruised young men in the courtroom, all of them bandaged up with broken limbs, some in wheelchairs. This was close to a manslaughter charge. Some of these boys will never be the same again. The defending lawyer pleads for the judge to acknowledge Jetta's hard life as a foster child that was never adopted, never loved, abused, and please take into account that she was not the aggressor in this situation. The judge considers. 4 years. Jetta is stoic. The room reacts. The people there are not for Jetta. No one is there for Jetta. The bailiff tries to pull her out the courtroom but can't move her. She looks at him coldly. He gets scared. She turns to the plaintiffs and tells them they're all suckers. Then she lets the bailiff move her out. Flashback to Malia driving all night down the highway with Raina and Jetta sleeping in the back seat. The car pulls up to a gas station truck stop. They sleep through the night in the parking lot. Malia rises with the sun, changes the girls, and hits the road again. She gets a motel room the next night, sleeping with the girls in her arms. She loves her daughters hard. She cries through the night. The next morning, they drive all through the day. As the sun sets, the girls fall asleep. Malia parks the car in front of an old building. She gets out and opens the back door. Jetta wakes. Malia takes sleeping Layne out of her baby seat. Jetta watches her walk away with Layne and starts to cry. When Malia comes back to the car alone, Jetta cries even louder. The car pulls off from the Houston Children's Harbor. Over the next few days on the road, Malia loves Jetta even harder. The car arrives at an orphanage in Trenton, New Jersey. Jetta is awake as Malia takes her out of the car. Holding her daughter tight, Malia cries as she walks into the orphanage. She puts Jetta on the front desk and walks away. Jetta realizes what is happening and begins to cry even louder. She watches as Malia walks out the front door. Present day, Jetta steps out of her cell, not an inch of fear on her. A staff member invites her to a meditation program that is happening in the prison. She's not interested, but is convinced when told participating in these things will look good to a parole board. In the class, a nice lady is talking to a sparse room of inmates. She talks about meditation and its benefits and invites everyone to come try. Close your eyes. Jetta is hesitant. This nice lady encourages her. No one will hurt her. Jetta closes her eyes for a moment and snaps them open. She doesn't participate, but listens to the instructor. Walking the prison yard, her demeanor radiates, "Leave me alone." Most give her space, but a gang of around 10 women won't. Jetta is surrounded. Turns out she's locked up with the cousin of one of the young men she almost killed. They attack, overpowering Jetta, sending her to the ground. They swarm her, laying blow after blow on her. Jetta fights back, gets to her feet, and lets loose. Her fighting is street, untrained but crafted through hard living. She deals out punches, kicks, and throws that send her attackers flying through the air. Realizing they're way out of their league, the women run away. Jetta chases after them as guards rush into the yard. They surround her. She's in a rage, but they lay into her with her batons. Even they have a hard time subduing her, but eventually she goes down. Flashback to Jetta crying as her mother walks away from her in the orphanage. A worker hears the sound and comes out to find her. From then on, Jetta is an angry child, constantly crying and causing a fuss. She is placed in a foster home with abusive foster parents and violent foster kids. She's sent to an underfunded public school in a dangerous part of town. Although she's far smarter than the curriculum, she is bored and disruptive. She grows up to be very beautiful and crushed on by all the boys, but the girls hate her for it. She fights a lot and is harshly disciplined by her teachers and foster parents. Teenage Jetta has dangerous fights with jealous girls almost every day and is constantly in trouble with the police. She barely attends class, going to school mainly to sell drugs for a small-time drug dealer. One day, when picking up some product, she meets the dealer's boss, the leader of the gang. Sparks fly. Flashback to baby Layne sleeping. She opens her eyes to see her adoptive mother and father looking down at her lovingly. They show Layne her new home, a massive mega mansion. Growing up, her parents are devoted Christians, love her deeply, giving her the best of everything, but never tell her she is adopted. At her private school for the very rich, she is the top of her class academically and excels in sports. In high school, she takes up Taekwondo and excels at that too. She is very beautiful, crushed on by all the boys and admired by all the girls. The one boy Layne has her eyes on is the captain of the football team, and he has his eyes on her too. Sparks fly. Layne gets to Princeton. Her excitement is dulled by whatever it is her and her parents are so distraught over. She is welcomed into the world of wealth and power as her family fortune entitles her to, but she finds it empty now. The opulent wealth, the classism the wealthy engage in behind the peasants' backs rubs her the wrong way. It all seems so pointless. In class, she meets a super liberal lefty student and becomes friends. She starts attending anti-establishment political meetings and rallies. She distances herself from the wealthy friends and finds a community of genuine friends amongst the politically active crowd. Here she feels at home. Even the way she dresses changes. At one contentious rally, there's a large group of counter-protesters. Things look like they're going to become violent, and they do. They descend upon the activists. Layne's friends get hit. Layne unleashes on the counter-protesters. Her martial arts style is polished. Punches, kicks, and throws send attackers flying through the air. The campus police arrive, arresting everyone, Layne included. Flashback. Jetta in Jersey with her gang leader boyfriend. They both have had a very rough upbringing, but in their way, they're in love. She's more than a girlfriend. She's been selling drugs for him. She's an employee. On a run, she is cornered by rivals and robbed at gunpoint. She tells her man, and he is very angry, leading to an argument. The argument leads to makeup sex. The sex leads to trouble. They lay in bed talking. Her man has a problem. He can't let her get away with losing his product. If there was anyone else in the crew, they would be punished. He must enforce discipline. She must have sex with him and all of his friends. Right now. She rejects the idea aggressively, but he's not asking. The friends enter the room. When one of them grabs her, Jetta reacts violently. Things turn into a 5-on-1 brawl. These guys are hardcore street dudes who've been fighting all their lives, but Jetta is different than any person they've ever experienced in a fight. She doesn't hold back, almost killing them. That night, the police find her at her foster home. Her foster parents are more than happy to hand her over. It's a lonely feeling as the police take her away and put her in a jail cell. Present day. Jetta sits in the hole, angry and restless. She shadowboxes. Her speed is incredible. She exercises long hours. Her strength and stamina is beyond belief. Even still, the tight space is stressing her. She realizes she needs to do something new. She has an aha moment and sits down, crosses her legs, and closes her eyes, doing the meditation she learned in class. As days pass, she continues her mind and body regiment. The solitary thinking and exercising is changing her, calming her. One day, while in deep meditation, she sees a man and a woman, each holding a baby. Baby Jetta is one of the children. The woman looks up and says, "Layne." The door opens to Jetta's cell. She is out the hole. Flashback to Layne and her football captain boyfriend. It's perfect. They're a high school power couple. She loses her virginity to him in her bedroom. It's a young love, innocent and tender. But the moment is ruined when her mother and father walk in on them. Being conservative Christians, they are enraged at Layne's sin. The parents leave the house in tears. Layne watches as they drive away and are sideswiped by an SUV. It's a very serious crash. Layne runs to them, ripping the door off the car to get to them. They are hurt bad. At the hospital, her parents need blood. Layne volunteers, but her blood type does not match theirs. They are not her biological parents. Present day. Layne sits in a jail cell with her activist friends. They all talk about their lives and what led them to this cell. Layne tells the group she grew up wealthy in a family that made its fortune in oil, but she just found out she's adopted. Her parents were not her parents, and it's made her look at life differently. Who are her real parents? Why did they give her up? What kind of life did they live? What life would she have lived if they raised her? Does she have any brothers or sisters? All these questions led her to her new activist friends, and after the fight today, she feels compelled to give more of herself to the struggle. She must stand on principle. She can't live her wealthy lifestyle knowing that it's funded by destroying the planet and oppressing poor people. She will renounce her wealth. Released from jail, she tells her family she is fighting against everything they stand for, and she's disowned. Jetta moves around the prison differently after her time in the hole. Her glaring anger is gone. She begins to attend meditation classes and has the vision she had in the hole again and again. One day, watching TV, she sees a story about a private investigator named Caesar Jones. She writes him asking for help finding her family. She's not expecting much. One day, Jetta is told she has a visitor. She's surprised. No one comes to see her. She goes to the visiting room and finds Caesar waiting for her. He will help her find her parents. Years pass. Jetta gets out of prison and Layne graduates from Princeton. Jetta makes a plan to meet Caesar at a diner in Lawrence Township. It's also the location for a charity event that Layne is organizing. Caesar walks by the event and confuses Layne for Jetta. He has a conversation with Layne and is hit with the instinct to introduce her to Jetta. He brings Layne and Jetta face to face. They are mirror images of each other. Jetta remembers her meditation. Layne? Shocked by this, the two trade stories, finding that they have both been given up for adoption the same month and year. The only explanation is that they are sisters. They sit with Caesar. With the information he has about Jetta's abandonment at the orphanage, he has found their mother. She's in Georgia. The girls want to go to her, but Layne has no car on account of being cut off from her adopted parents' wealth. Jetta has no car because she has no money. CJ offers to drive them. On the road trip, the twins get to know each other. They have a natural connection, beginning to finish each other's sentences. They stop at a motel and they all share a room. The girls share a bed, holding each other all night, and Caesar sleeps on the couch. In the morning, they get breakfast at a truck stop. CJ discusses his community service. Layne is impressed. He discusses his military service. Jed is impressed. Two bikers speak loudly and disrespectfully about the twins. Caesar tells them to watch their mouths. The bikers step to Caesar and Caesar knocks them the fuck out. The girls are impressed. As they leave the diner, the rest of the biker gang arrives. The twins and Caesar take on the entire gang. The twins show their superhuman abilities. Caesar notices. A biker pulls out a machine gun on the twins. Caesar takes the gun and knocks the biker out with one punch. They hit the road, breathing hard and in the energy of victory. The girls' attraction to Caesar grows. That night, they share a room. They all sit together and watch a movie. Jetta kisses Caesar. Layne moves away. Jetta brings Layne to Caesar and pushes them together to kiss. A sexy, hard-pounding, long-lasting threesome goes down. The next morning, they wake, laying together, to a beautiful sunny day. They hit the road. The energy between them all is electric. They drive into Atlanta, excited and nervous. They arrive at their mother's house, a small home, alone, deep in the country. Caesar stays in the car as the twins walk to the house. A gunshot hits the ground in front of them. A female voice tells them to go away. The twins say they are looking for their mother. Malia steps out with a high-powered rifle. She is way more badass than before. She is shocked to see her twin daughters. She hugs them tight, tells them that she loves them, but they should not have come. They are all in danger now. She pulls them aside quickly. Caesar scopes out Malia's property, notices surveillance on the home. Malia explains to the twins why she and her father gave them up for adoption. Malia hands Jetta and Layne a picture of their family, 20 plus years ago on a military base in Alaska. Their father, Axton. He was part of a super soldier experiment. He and a small group of soldiers have been injected with a secret serum that makes them grow bigger, stronger, faster, and smarter. During this time, Axton gets Malia pregnant. Soon, the other soldiers start getting sick. Very sick. But not Axton. The scientists discover that Axton is immune to the chemical ingredients that are killing the others. After the other soldiers' deaths, Axton was sent on solo missions in dangerous places. His success was bringing high-level attention to the super soldier program. The military leadership was being pressured by the president to produce more soldiers like Axton. Scientists attempt to use Axton's genetics to solve the serum problem, but nothing works. Axton is aware of the government's frustration and begins to suspect they are taking interest in his girls. He tells Malia his fears. The government is plotting to take their daughters. They develop a bug-out plan. Axton sneaks into the lab and hacks the head scientist's computer. They have detailed plans to take the twins, study them, train them, and use a new technique to brainwash them. He wipes the computer of all information on the twins and calls Malia the bug out. Malia tells the twins she is sure the government has been watching her, waiting for any lead they can get on them. Caesar walks in to tell them the house is under surveillance when a black van pulls up. Masked men in all black tactical burst into the house. Malia's house is rigged with defensive traps and hidden weapons all over. The twins, Caesar, and Malia fight hard. One of the agents is big, strong, and fast. Caesar fights him the best he can, but he's about to get killed by the big agent when the twins save him. They team up on the big agent, but he's just as strong, if not stronger than them. Together they have a chance. His mask comes off in the fighting. It's Axton. Malia sees Axton and pauses for a moment, then shoots him. He dodges. Malia pulls a lever causing an explosion, allowing them all to escape out of a tunnel. Malia has a pre-prepared escape plan and vehicle ready to go. They'll cross the border into Mexico, then fly to a South American country that doesn't cooperate with the United States. Live a happy life. The twins protest. Caesar's injuries are terminal. If he doesn't get medical attention, he will die. They want to take him to a hospital. Malia doesn't want to risk exposing themselves. Too much surveillance in hospitals. The twins can't be convinced or stopped. Malia relents. They pull up to the hospital and take Caesar inside, then take off fast. On the open road to Mexico, the three talk. Malia tells the twins that she met Axton on the base. She was also a soldier and part of a program working to develop the abilities of the mind. That may be why Jetta had the visions during her meditations. Things get emotional as Malia talks about how hard it was to abandon them. She has thought of them every day since. For 2 decades, the first thought that enters her head when she wakes and the last thing before she goes to bed has been giving up her daughters. They must not let their father get them. The people that turned him into the monster he is now will do the same to them. They sleep during the day in a country motel. They all sleep in the same bed, holding each other. When the night falls, they hit the road again. They tell each other stories of their separated lives. They laugh and cry together, and suddenly, the car is struck by a black van. The car spins off the road and crashes in a field with a forest a short distance away. They are disorientated. The black van comes to a stop. Axton and his team step out. Malia starts shooting, telling the twins to run into the forest. Axton and team return fire, hitting Malia. The twins run into the forest with team in hot pursuit. Axton approaches Malia, lifting her up by her neck. She tries to talk to him and get past his brainwashing. Axton stops. He recognizes Malia. For a moment. His brainwashing is too strong. His eyes go cold. He snaps her neck. The twins witness it all. They run into the forest, the soldiers in pursuit. Playing a game of cat and mouse through the forest, the twins take the soldiers down one by one. Eventually, only Axton is left. The girls run deep into the forest with Axton on their tail. They fight and manage to push him down a slope, buying them some time to hide and plan. Raina wants to break through the brainwashing. She saw Axton pause with their mother. Their father can be saved. Jetta thinks it's too late to bring Axton back. It's kill or be killed. They find an area of the forest that can be used to ambush their father. Axton climbs the hill he is thrown down and tracks the twins. He falls into their trap. They join forces, fighting their father, but it's not easy. The balance of the fight shifts constantly. Axton knocks Jetta off a small cliff, leaving him to fight Raina one-on-one. Raina pleads with him to remember who he is. She says his name over and over, but it doesn't crack the brainwashing. He grabs her by the neck and begins to squeeze when Jetta returns, yelling for him to stop. Daddy, stop. The two of them together begin to call him Daddy, over and over again. He lets go of Raina, stumbling back, fighting his brainwashing. He looks at them both. Raina? Jetta? They approach him slowly. He opens his arms. They rush in to hug him. He whispers in their ears, I'm back. You brought me back. They hug tightly. As they embrace, Axton hears a distant sound. The girls notice it too. A helicopter approaches with a spotlight aimed at them. The chopper hovers above them, doors opening. Two masked men in tactical gear step out onto landing skids, looking down at them. The helicopter hovers at a height that would cripple any normal person if they were to exit without a rope. The two men jump free, landing in unison. They stand unhurt. They are not normal men. They launch a lightning-fast attack on the girls and their father. The three work together to fend them off, but the men are faster and stronger than all of them. Axton grabs both the men's masks and pulls them off, revealing them to be twins, with similar racial characteristics as Raina and Jetta. Who are these men? The twin men power kick Axton, injuring him. Raina and Jetta take the twins on. They fight hard, but the men have enough of a physical advantage that Raina and Jetta cannot win. Axton musters all his strength and pulls a grenade from his gear and throws it at the helicopter. It shatters the cockpit window and explodes. The chopper goes down. Axton rushes in and grabs the girls, throwing them clear. The twin men react, but Axton tackles them to the ground. The burning helicopter lands on top of all of them, exploding. Raina and Jetta scream for their father and try to get to him, but the fire is too hot. No one could survive that. Jetta pulls Raina away. They have to go. The sun shines on an open highway. A nondescript car speeds along with Jetta in the driver's seat and Raina riding shotgun. The car approaches the Mexican border. They wait in the car lineup for customs when the girls look at each other. They don't say a word, but they understand each other perfectly. They smile as Jetta makes a U-turn and drives back into the United States. The end. Well, there you go. Story by Director X, Episode 4, The Twins. I really love this one. I've been working on this a long time. It feels good. It's action and it's venture, but it's a different take on it, a new way to tell the story. And I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys did as well. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen. And please check out previous episodes. Come back again for the next episode. Episode 5 will be coming soon. And again, thanks a lot for taking the time to do this with me. It really means a lot to me. So, Episode 4, Story by Director X. Peace.